Welcome to the Worst of the Riot podcast. Coming up, what is the appropriate revenge for a bad haircut?
Also, how to make friends as an adult, and more on the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Surely you've seen in recent days the Apple Vision Pro headset, VR headset, or I guess mixed reality headset. It is out now, and since it's dropped, people have been using it in various different situations, including a few have used it while driving. Have you seen any of those videos?
I have not.
The only one I actually saw was a guy that was wearing it while driving, and then he gets pulled over and like gets a ticket. But he admitted that was a skit. It was a goof.
Oh, it was a stunt.
Yeah, he didn't actually get a ticket. He wasn't actually driving. But there are videos now that I'm seeing that have a lot of views of people wearing the Apple Vision Pro while driving. Now, it's usually while they're in like a Tesla, so it has, it's assisted driving. They're not actually hands on the wheel in charge of the vehicle. However, they're still in charge. And it's a big enough deal, enough people have done it, that it's made its way all the way to the White House, where Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg has had to remind people that even if you have an advanced driver assistant system in your vehicle, you still shouldn't be wearing the Apple Vision Pro while you're driving.
Do you ever feel there are certain things that you should just automatically, if you get pulled over doing, you should get your license suspended? Because it feels like this could be one of them.
If this feels like it could be one of them.
It feels like if you do this, it's so reckless.
Yeah.
That you should just get your license taken away for like a year because it's just stupid.
Yeah.
Because of stupidity. You
could do that, or I would be fine with you just get your Apple Vision Pro taken away.
That doesn't feel like enough for me.
I mean, they're $3,500.
You think possibly running into someone, injuring someone, is enough versus taking someone's Apple Vision Pro away?
Well, if they hit somebody in the process, then yes, I think whether you're wearing a headset or not, your license usually a lot of times might go away. But yeah, I don't know. What do you even think? Have you seen any? I've seen videos of people wearing the Vision Pro, as in like showing what it does. But keep in mind, it costs $3,500. I'm not impressed.
VR doesn't do much for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
I know people love it, but it just doesn't do much for me.
Do you know anybody who has? Because what I also see is everybody is roasting people who buy the Apple Vision Pros because you can already do everything the Apple Vision Pro does on a Meta Quest 3, and it's like a third of the price.
But people like Apple stuff.
Yeah, they do. I've seen videos of people like, oh, look, I can watch the basketball game here, and then behind me there's this other thing, and I can look at Twitter over here, and it's like, yeah. All the things you can already do without wearing scuba gear on your head. I don't get it.
VR's cool. I think it's a really cool thing, but it hasn't gotten to the point where I feel like I need it yet.
Yeah, and if you are into it, not while driving, Isaiah will take your license away himself.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
Isaiah has your question of the day.
Back in 1973, we had the Battle of the Sexes, where Bobby Riggs, a retired tennis pro, who once held the #1 ranking in the men's circuit, was talking not nicely about the female tennis players and said that no female tennis player could beat him, even in his retirement, and extended his challenge to one popular player who did end up beating him.
Of course she did.
What is her name?
It took me a second to access this part of my memory because I knew, you know what I knew? I knew she had 2 first names. Then I was like, Bobby Joe, Peggy Sue. It's Billie Jean King.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Many texters got that as well. Let's do some rapid fire. What year did women first compete in the Olympics?
1932.
No! 1900. Out of 997 athletes, 22 were women. What about this one? The most Grand Slam single titles the most of any player in the Open era belongs to who?
Probably Serena Williams.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And then finally, the highest scoring WNBA player of all time is
Lisa Leslie.
Diana Taurasi.
Ooh.
I just heard you say her
I
name.
thought of her, yeah. There's so many women's basketball players that went through my mind at that time. I just didn't know which one to choose.
Yeah, she's still cooking
Diana Taurasi.
on the Phoenix Mercury.
She's still in the league.
Yeah.
How old is she?
I have no idea. Let me take a look see here. How old is Diana? Do you have a favorite?
A favorite women's basketball player?
Women's team. She
Las
is now
Vegas Aces.
bandwagon.
Yeah.
Right after winning the chip.
Uh-huh.
She is 41 years old.
She's still in the league.
I believe she's still cooking.
No wonder she leads all time in scoring.
Yeah, she's 41 and she's still cooking.
Unbelievable.
I like the Indiana Fever.
The
I lived
Fever,
in
huh?
Indiana for a while.
Yeah.
And they have Kelsey Mitchell, former OSU player.
It's a cool team name too. Fever. They give me fever. All right. Useless knowledge. I feel like that's a little useful. We learned something today.
You don't always have to agree with Isaiah to always disagree with Hudson. The Riot. Radio U.
Now, a big announcement was made yesterday that ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers are joining forces to create a sports streaming app that's going to launch this fall. They'll feature access to ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, SEC Network, ACC Network, ESPN News, ABC, Fox, Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2, Big Ten Network, TNT, TBS, and True TV. Isaiah, as a sports fan, how excited are you?
This doesn't really do much for me, unfortunately.
You're not excited
I already have them all.
with YouTube TV?
Yeah.
What if this could cut the costs? How much would you pay for something like this?
See, that's the question is, if I only want to watch sports,
Yeah.
if I don't want to watch anything else,
Mm-hmm.
this could be a nice little thing to go to
Yeah.
for the right price. But right now, the YouTube TV has all this
Yeah.
and my movie channels.
Yeah.
And it streams The Office all the time. There's sometimes Parks and Rec, some other good shows. So it's hard to go away from that. I really wish, because they said in this, it says it offers the NFL, the NBA, the MLB,
Yeah.
the NHL. But it doesn't really, it's not like it offers all the games.
No, it's you look at it and you see the names involved and you're like, oh, this must be everything. But then pretty quickly you're like, well, no, it's not, because you still have Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. You still have,
You get one NBA game a night, pretty much.
yep. You still have all of the stuff that CBS has, which is a ton of football, a ton of soccer. If you're a soccer fan, that wouldn't be included in this. All the stuff that NBC has, which is Sunday Night Football, a bunch of college football, and then a few bibs and bobs that are on like Apple TV Plus and stuff like that. So it's really not all of anything.
But it is some of everything.
It's some of pretty much everything. Yeah. Yeah.
But it could be if you didn't want to pay for, it's obviously, I hope, you can only hope that it's going to be less than like a YouTube TV or Direct TV,
Yeah.
because they obviously have all these channels as well. You hope that it's less than that, so that if you only want to watch sports, this could be a nice little side thing. If you wanted to just do Netflix and this,
Yeah.
then that could be an option.
If you had to guess, how much do you think this would be per month?
Like $20.
20?
I hope so.
That's what it feels like it deserves. I'm concerned it's going to be closer to 40.
40?
Yeah.
Well, if it's closer to 40, then it's just not worth it.
Yeah. And now the other criticism is other people, because you can also bundle it, they say, with Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max if you'd like. People are just saying, rightly so, this basically just sounds like cable, which is what everybody got away from back in the day. it's really not all that different.
But now you can just pay for it all separately.
Yeah.
Instead of all big one thing. Instead of bundling it all together, now we'll just pick a couple different bundles.
Yeah. Instead of having one big bundle, bunch of small bundles.
This is just getting silly. It's getting silly.
Yeah. Does it sound like something you're interested in? Let us know. How much would you pay for it? 8772 Radio U.
Hudson is the maple syrup, and Isaiah is the power protein flapjack. This is The Riot on Radio U.
In the meantime, did you know yesterday was Red Tuesday? Red Tuesday. It is a big day for breakups, the Tuesday before Valentine's Day.
Seems like a tough time to be broken up with. But also it adds up a little bit.
Yeah. Apparently, according to a new survey, 45% of people agree it's better to do a breakup right before Valentine's Day than, I guess, shortly thereafter, which makes sense. If you're the person that's intending to do the breakup, of course you would want to do it before Valentine's Day. I guess if you're the person that's planning on spending money on Valentine's Day, if you're on the flip side and you're like, ooh, I'll get a bunch of gifts, one last meal, and then after Valentine's Day, then I'll pull the plug, I guess. I could see both sides of it. Pizza Hut. The reason I say all this is because Pizza Hut is trying to make it easier to pull the plug on a relationship. Starting yesterday and through Valentine's Day, they are offering goodbye pies. It's their new, I don't know if you know they have this, their new hot honey pizza. Sounds intriguing. And it comes in a special box where Pizza Hut, it's got like a broken heart pizza on the front of the box. It says goodbye pie. And then Pizza Hut, one of the workers will write whatever your customized message you want to send to the person you're breaking up with. They'll write it on the box and then you can deliver it to them. Again, maybe Pizza Hut will deliver it for you so you don't have to do it face to face. Feels like a coward's way out.
I love this.
Yeah. But I'm thinking if you're going to get broken up with anyways, you might as well get a pizza out of the deal.
I just want to work at Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Because I want to know what people are going to ask me to write.
Yeah.
I want to talk to people who work at Pizza Hut and say, what in the heck are you writing in these pizzas?
Yeah.
Because that sounds hilarious. The wild things that people would have you write. The reasons that you're being broken up with.
Yeah.
That are being wrote in a pizza box is crazy.
Yeah. They have to, I mean, that's going to be perfect for Instagram, for TikTok. It'll be great to see the messages that are going out on these Pizza Hut boxes. Plus, I also like to imagine the Pizza Hut delivery driver taking this to somebody and having to be basically being like a courier, like who serves the court papers.
Like the Grim Reaper, pretty much.
Yeah, right. Hey, are you Amelia? This pizza's for you. And oh my gosh, having the look on these people's faces, it's heartbreaking.
And what kind of person is like, I think I'm going to break up with her, but I did see that commercial from Pizza Hut talking about the goodbye pies. I think that's how I'm going to do it.
Yeah. How many people were on the edge about breaking up anyways, and then they see this, and they're like, that seals it. It's over.
You got to think if you receive one of these, then your significant other was just the worst person ever.
The person who's breaking up with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they send you a goodbye pie to break up with you, I think you're all right. I think you're going to be okay leaving this relationship.
It might hurt in the moment, but you're going to recover. You're going to be better off than they were. You send the goodbye before or after the goodbye text?
Oh, you don't send any text. You just send the goodbye
pizza
pie.
only. Pizza box only.
Add a little Riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
A Russian man who was visiting Thailand during his trip wanted to get his hair cut, walked into a barber shop, tried to describe the haircut that he wanted, but his English wasn't very good, apparently. So there's a little bit of a language barrier there. He gets his haircut. You can probably see where this is going. Didn't like it. And so after he gets this botched haircut, he starts slamming his fists on the table, swearing at the barber. He picks up the shavers and shaves part of the barber's head as revenge.
That's not good.
Obviously, doing it in that way, not appropriate. But could it be said an eye for an eye when it comes to haircuts? Should you be able to cut your barber's hair if he or she messes up your hair?
Not in this way.
Yeah. Not in a fit of rage.
Not in a fit of rage as he attacked him pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
That would be considered assault.
Yeah.
But I think that there could be a way that if both parties agree, maybe that's a part of your barber service.
It could be, it could be a little gimmick. It wouldn't be like every barber does this, but that could be your thing. We're the only barber in town that lets you cut our hair if we mess up.
Yeah, I think if you did something ridiculous, if you really mess up their haircut, they could. Then that's warranted.
If this actually did become the norm, where to be a barber you have to be prepared to get your hair cut, I guess eventually all barbers would just be people who are naturally bald.
Or just keep your hair low.
Yeah, just always have it buzzed, which we've agreed, not for everybody, the buzzed haircut.
The buzzed haircut is not for everybody.
It's not for everyone. I would like instituting this as a policy at some certain barbers, but it'd be hard to quantify too. How upset, how do you really truly judge? There'd have to be some kind of independent mediator.
I've left haircuts very upset before.
Yeah.
Where other people would think, why are you upset? Your hair looks almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
Because they cut just a little bit too much off or did something just a little bit the way I didn't want them to. And then all of a sudden, I'm just upset.
And you probably left upset, and you probably didn't even, not only did you not cut the person's hair in revenge, you probably didn't say a thing.
I tipped the guy still.
Yeah.
I gave him extra money for a haircut that I didn't ask for.
Yeah, even if this was the policy, at least for me, nothing would change.
When you spin around and they say, you like it? You would say, you know what? I hate it, and I want to cut your hair.
Yeah.
No, even when they do a terrible job, you still say, I love it.
Yeah. Looks good.
Looks great.
The barber could shave half of my head and leave the other half, and I'd be like, thumbs up.
Exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know what? That does look just like the picture I showed you. Yeah. It looks exactly like it.
Battle of the Buzz is next.
There's never been a can of worms they didn't open. The Riot, Radio U.
There's been a trend supposedly going on around on TikTok. Isaiah, you drive a truck. Have you done this? Have you gotten in on the truck slushy deal?
I've seen this on TikTok.
Yeah.
I have not done this. I don't really get it.
The idea is, if you haven't seen this, the truck slushies, you go ahead into the gas station, you fill up the biggest cup of slushy they've got, and then you run outside and chuck it at your truck's windshield. It's supposed to prove something.
It's supposed to prove what?
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's explanations that people have tried to make some sense of the truck slushy trend, but I think it is one of those things that there's no explanation for it. It's just, dudes being dudes, guys being guys.
Well, I've seen women do this.
Women being women.
That's the only video I've seen of it, actually. Was a lady doing
truck
this.
Owners being truck owners. I've got one here. This guy even putting, supposedly, which a big mistake, putting the slushy in his gas tank. But some gas stations, apparently this has happened frequently enough, where they're putting up signs asking people not to do it because the truck owners are chucking the cups of slushies at their truck and then just leaving everything all a mess and leaving it to the gas station to clean up. I don't understand it.
The sign says, "Please do not throw slushies in the fuel area. We are tired of cleaning it up. Thanks, management."
Yeah.
And this puts me into a bigger question of, if you make a mess somewhere,
yeah,
that's not your own home, it's a business, are you expected to clean it up? If I dropped a slushie in a gas station, should I be the one to clean that up? If I make a mess at Kroger, should I be the one to clean that up? Or should I leave it?
I think there's two different. It depends. The funny thing is about this truck slushy scenario is that this is what you would call, is it a paradox? Where if you intentionally make the mess, then you should be expected to clean it up. But the person intentionally making a mess is the least likely person to clean it up in this situation. The truck slushy guys, there's no chance that they're going to clean this up, no matter what signs the gas station posts, because they're just being goofy. But if you're in Kroger and you drop a jar of pasta sauce, you're gonna. Are
you gonna clean it up?
As a decent person, you're gonna be like, "I'll help," and the employee's gonna be like, "No." And the employee probably, you know why? They probably have to tell you no, because it could be like a liability thing. Like if you drop a thing of pasta sauce and then you cut yourself trying to clean it up because it's a glass jar in Kroger, then you could sue them, perhaps, for some reason.
See, but on the other side of it, as I've worked in some businesses, when some people make messes, they don't clean them up. I've had to clean up a wide array of things at the toy store. And nothing makes me more upset than when someone makes a mess and they don't offer to clean it up.
Yeah.
I hate that.
You have to go through the charade. It's like when somebody offers to pay, I'll get this one at dinner, and you have to go, "Oh, no, I can help." And then they say no, and
guess what happens at the toy store if you ask me?
Everybody knows how it ends.
If you're at the toy store and your kid makes a mess and you say, "Oh, I can clean it up," I'd say, "Here are the paper towels." You think I'm going to clean that up? Your kid's mess? No. Your kid's been annoying me the whole time he's been in there.
I think it also depends, too, if it's, again, on the scenario. Kroger, you drop a jar of something and it breaks. That was something they were selling. You offer, but they're not going to let you. If it's at your toy store and the kid spills a sippy cup of milk somehow that they brought in, then I think they should clean it up.
What about this, though? If you spill the cup, or if you spill something, you break the pasta at Kroger, do you pay for that?
Yet again, I think you have to go through the charade. I can pay for this, and they'll say, "No, don't worry about it."
Because at the toy store,
I think that's what happens.
People break things.
Yeah.
They're children, shockingly breaking things. And then when you don't offer to pay for it, I'm like, you're out of your mind. First, you're not going to clean it up.
Yeah.
Second, you're not going to offer to pay for it.
Yeah.
You're wild. May I escort you out?
You break it, you buy it. I can't tell you how many times my mom said that to me.
My mom just said, "Don't touch anything."
Yeah.
No touchy touch.
I was
you can
petrified of touching anything. Because I break it, I buy it. Even though that never actually happened.
Yeah.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Ahead of Valentine's Day, our relationship expert friend Sheena will be joining the show. If you've got any good Valentine's questions you might want to ask a relationship coach as we head into Valentine's Day, let us know at 8772-RADIO-U. We'll chat with her tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Now, Isaiah, do you have a nemesis?
A nemesis? That's a good question. I would say I have people I dislike on the show. I've
called Elon Musk your nemesis before.
I wouldn't consider him my nemesis, but he is a person of disinterest for me.
What makes somebody a nemesis anyways?
Someone I feel like you're actively rooting against.
Yeah.
Someone who you feel as if you couldn't be more different from. You look at them with disgust.
Do you think nemesis, is that where you, does it have to be two-sided? Does both parties have to agree to be each other's nemesis?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think they can be your nemesis and they can have no idea who you are.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because that's how I feel too. I feel nemesis makes more sense when the other person doesn't even know about you, which is exactly the case with my nemesis, Brock Purdy. And so it's really tough for me right now during the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy, he could prove me wrong. I could lose this nemesis battle. If he wins the Super Bowl, then
you look like a buffoon.
Yeah, then I've lost. I've lost the nemesis battle. Now, Brock Purdy is my nemesis, but I do have to respect him. I think sometimes
you have respect for your nemesis.
Sometimes with nemesi, is that the nemesises? Sometimes there has to be some respect there too.
Okay.
Yeah. Because anybody can just hate somebody that has no success, that has never done anything. That'd be easy.
And also talking about your whole Brock Purdy nemesis thing. He's the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, for people who don't know. And he is like the most, what's crazy is he's like the most likable guy.
Yeah.
Because he was like the very last pick of the NFL draft. Everybody wrote him off. He's kind of like a comeback kid.
Yeah.
Kind of went against all odds. Seems like someone you can easily root for.
Yeah.
He's undersized, undermanned, just proving everyone wrong. And so for me, big Brock Purdy fan.
Yeah.
You, a hater.
Nemesis. Yes. Because I just, I think some people are a victim of circumstance. He got some pretty good circumstances. But
the final pick of the NFL draft. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And several injuries ahead of him. He was their only option. But I still have respect for him, especially after this interview he did at the Super Bowl this week.
Yeah, this year for me, it's been Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I have what I need. He lets me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. And then it goes on. But for me, playing this game, playing this sport, there's a lot that goes into it. And, it's easy to get wrapped up in, wanting and feeling like wanting to be loved, obviously by your teammates and everybody, but like the world. And so for me, like in that passage, it's talking about, I already have what I need from the Good Shepherd in Jesus.
That's Brock Purdy talking about his favorite part of the Bible, at least right now, Psalm 23. And after you hear that, I can't help but respect him, because those are wise words from Brock Purdy. And it's good advice. It's good advice for all of us. It's good to remember, if it's not something that you're familiar with, that God is there for you, that you can chase after all these other things. You can want the love and respect of other people. But the truth is, what really matters is that God loves you and that He is there for you through it all.
Seems as if your hating is coming on deaf ears for Brock Purdy because of the love he knows he has in God. He don't need your love, Hudson. He already has God's.
He doesn't need me. Yeah, and just like Brock Purdy, you can be basically immune to all the haters if you've got God on your side. If you want to know what that's about, check out RadioU.com/free gift.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
You think this is true? It's hard to make friends as an adult.
It does get harder as you get older.
Definitely harder. I think once you finish college, if you go to college, following college from that point on, it gets much more difficult to make friends. Some people even struggle to make friends in college or in high school even. And I think these tips, I've got some tips here from a friendship expert. Didn't know that was a thing. That works for Bumble, though, because Bumble has the Bumble for Friends feature. This is Danielle Bayard Jackson. 5 tips for how to make friends as you get older. When you're a kid, it's so easy. You're just like, hey, you want to ride bikes together? When you're a grown-up, what do? Number 1, socialize your interests. She says, particularly post-pandemic, we're spending less time doing stuff with friends and more time alone. So if you take your interests that you've been doing by yourself and find people to do them with, find clubs or different let's say you're into cooking, find a cooking class or something like that where you're with other people that also like cooking or painting or working out, or ask other people. Maybe you don't know. Maybe some people that you're kind of friends with are actually interested in that kind of stuff, and they'll do it with you.
Good answers.
She also says, leverage technology. Of course, the Bumble expert would say this. She says it can be intimidating, put yourself out there, but using an app like Bumble for Friends connects you with people nearby that have similar interests and goals, which is true. It can be a little nerve-wracking to ask somebody at work, for example, because you don't know. Maybe they're not looking for friends. Maybe not in the market for friends right now. But if you go on an app, then at least just like with dating, you know these people, they're single, they're looking for somebody. These people on the Bumble for Friends, for example, you know they're in the market for friends. They're looking just like you are. That's an idea. Become a regular. Making friends isn't it easy when we were younger, especially as we are in less spaces like school where we're among our peers every day. So commit to being in a space once a week to be among the same people to create more familiar connections. So that's obviously work is the top one, but anywhere else where you can just show up and be a regular, people just by default, because you're around them all the time, will become your friends.
Get a job.
Yeah.
Go to a dog park at your apartment complex. I once moved away. I once lost something. All my friends. I once moved away to where I had no friends, and the way I made friends was I had my dog Jim, who usually is a pain in my side, but in this instance, taking him to my apartment dog complex every day, the dog park I had there, I made friends via my dog Jim, taking him to the dog park because he is an extroverted pup. I ended up making friends, taking him there every day at the same time, and you'll see the same people there every day.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're looking for friends too. Or my other tip, just start dating an extrovert. Let them do the work for you.
Well, that's kind of what it says. Befriend super connectors. Find people that have a lot of friends, and then now the danger with making friends through dating is that if you guys break up, then do you lose connection with all those friends you made?
You do.
They can make things real awkward.
And that's when you get a dog again.
Yeah.
When you find yourself with 7 cats.
The last tip, and this is tough, but this is a great tip. This is something not many people do. That's talk to strangers. I think about me. No, you'd be surprised.
Strangers.
No, you'd be surprised. Here's a great example. Going to a concert. If you go alone, you can easily go alone and not chat with anybody, enjoy the concert, but you're not making connections. But you're already if you're at a concert, you're at all of these other people at the concert too. They're there because they like something similar to what you like. Strike up a conversation. Say you like somebody's shirt. Whatever. Just start talking to people. You'd be surprised.
You are so full of crap.
That's good advice.
You would never do this. This is wild. I'm not going to sit here and act
I'm not looking for friends.
I'm not going to sit here and act like this is an easy thing to do when someone who doesn't have any friends right now is like, how do these people just go out there and just talk to strangers?
Okay.
We don't. It's impossible. It's
you
hard.
can talk to strangers, say hi to people, and this is even better if you're an extrovert or an introvert. Don't be afraid when people say hi to you. Be prepared to engage in conversation.
Best. When they started with you, Todd says a stranger's a friend you haven't met yet.
That's right.
There you go.
There it is.
You heard it there first. Wait till when they say hi to you. Be ready.
Expect that people will say hi to you and go from there.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
The announcement from Southwest Airlines that actually came close to a week ago now about the updated interiors for their airplanes that are going to actually start rolling out next year. Now, it's taken a few days, but people, after seeing the announcement from Southwest and seeing some of the renderings of these new interiors, people are not pleased. These seats, look how thin they are, Isaiah.
They do look thin. They look very thin.
It's now Southwest can try to get some kind of positive publicity because they got like screens and stuff on the back. But in reality, like everybody's got your phone on a plane anyways. I don't think you can get enough good publicity from the screens compared to the bad publicity you're going to get from making people sit on those. Basically, they look like the lawn chairs. You know what I'm talking about? That's pretty much what these seats are. And I just don't know what Southwest is thinking putting this out like, oh, we're all going to be so happy about it.
Maybe if you see it, it looks as if you're going to have more legroom, but we know we won't.
Yeah, that's an illusion.
It seems as if these thin seats, maybe they're putting it out. So we just assume, a lot of people just assume that they're more comfy. If they're
just because it's new.
Just because it's new.
I do think there is something to the idea that looks could be deceiving just because, like, no, it doesn't matter how thin something is. It matters to some degree, but it could be thinner and cushionier versus something that's thicker but hard. Like like if you're sitting on a wooden bench, but hopefully these are got a little more cushion to them, but nevertheless, they're not.
It could be like memory foam.
It could, yeah, that's right.
I've got a real thin pillow that's like my best one.
Yeah. So
Will it be? No.
no, yeah, there's no chance. We all know that what these are actually going to be like. I guess Southwest, what do? You just not announce it and then secretly surprise everybody one day. They just get on the plane.
It's not like people know. It's not like I could tell you I just flew Southwest. I have no idea what the seats look like. Like, it's not like I would ever get on a Southwest flight and be like, they updated the seats without telling me.
Yeah.
Like, I would never know.
It's just a weird thing to do. It's not like a movie trailer. It's not like you have, like with movies, you have to put out a trailer to promote that the movie is coming. Southwest, people are going to buy plane tickets anyways. There's only 4 options. You're one of them. If you're the cheapest, people will buy it. It doesn't matter what the seats are like. You could have not done. It's not like more people are going to rush out and pre-order tickets. I got to fly on one of the new planes. They look so great. Nobody's going to do that. So I don't know what the point of this is.
See, if I could add one thing to a plane seat, all I would add is that, like, the headrest that's behind you, I just wish that it could, like, fold on the sides to where I could, like, rest my head.
Yes.
Like, it'd be like if everybody had a window seat.
That'd be a big upgrade.
Is that so hard to figure out? You don't have to do anything else. Just make the sides a little bit foldable.
Yeah.
Make them fold right here so I can just rest my head to one side or the other.
Yeah,
to the left or the right.
I like that idea.
The U fold.
But I'd be worried because I know sometimes when I sleep, if I fall asleep, sometimes I drool a little bit. And so what if other me's, if you're the first person to sit on that seat, that's fine. But after that, everybody.
Oh, you're talking about germs.
Yeah. I'm saying
germs on a plane.
I can drool on that headrest if it's foldable, but I wouldn't be the first one to drool on it.
It's okay. We're living in drool, man.
Yeah.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Would you rather to be fed like you're a child, a little tiny little baby child, if ever you wanted to eat? 8772 Radio U. You can chime in. Jaden says, for sure the car seat, those things actually look comfy. Get me an adult version. That's true. Kids, you always see them, like, they're always sleeping in those things. It feels inconvenient when you're a child, but I bet you as an adult, it would make it easier to sleep, right?
Similarly so to what I said on the planes.
Yeah, actually, that's true.
You can rest your head from the right. You can rest your head from the left. Lots of pluses there.
And before we go any further, you'd be safer, I have to imagine. Right? Regina says, I guess car seat because fewer people would see.
True.
It would be, that is true. Everything else being equal, that's true. Philip says, car seat, I'm not missing meals from not having anyone to feed me.
I agree.
Jeff, easy. Definitely car seat. Susanna, a car seat sounds great and relaxing. And that's what we've got here. I think based off of our parameters, the car seat is the right choice. I think if you're not able to drive, I think that makes it a tougher call.
Yeah, if you're not able to drive, that changes everything.
Yeah. I feel like that makes it more equal because not drive, not able to eat on your own, then both massive inconveniences.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning car seat, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be seated up high anyway.
Yeah.
People are talking about the comfort of this. I'm talking about just the height in general.
Yeah.
I like the extra height on top.
But what if your head then is hitting the ceiling?
I would need a smaller car seat.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I'm a pretty short guy, so I wouldn't have an issue like that. And I drive a truck, so also wouldn't have that issue.
What if it's not like a booster seat? What if it's the one where you're a little baby and you have to sit backwards? I don't even know how
Well, you can't drive then.
No, definitely can't drive.
I'm still taking that one, though.
You'd still take that. Then you'd be even easier to sleep. in the car.
Suzanne says, though it would be easier to lose weight if someone had to feed you.
Yeah. Or what if it's like this? You like somebody has to feed you, or you eat like a baby that's like in a high chair where like it's a mess. There's some food you like, I don't even know how to describe it, but your fingers, like you have not very much motor
I don't think we need to make the baby one or being fed like a baby any worse.
No, I think that makes it better because at least you can eat something on your own accord.
Imagine your significant other, you have to feed them.
Yeah.
That alone is bad enough for me to pick car seat.
I also think, but I think it matters too. What is this like your entire life from when you're growing up, or does it start today? Because if it started today and me and my wife, she had to feed me, then like if you saw us out in public, some people may be like, oh, that's so romantic. She's feeding him.
Yeah, but it also depends on the food.
Yeah.
And if it's an entire meal,
Yeah.
like 1 bite, cute. 2 bites, kind of cute. 3 bites, we're getting a little bit too many bites. You do an entire meal. If you're giving me a whole burger,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, and then you go to the fries, that's getting crazy.
It has to be chopped up into little tiny pieces so that you don't choke on it. Yeah, I think the car seat is the way to go. But if you couldn't drive yourself, that changes everything. That would be very inconvenient. All right, good would you rather. Good would you rather today from Veronica. You can always text your ideas in at 8772 Radio U.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.